Hello and welcome to another episode of Taste and Drink. Now in this episode we're going to be looking at what some might call an alternate grape variety. So this particular wine is a 2008 Domaine Charles Baur Sylvaner VA Vin, so old vine Sylvaner, Sylvaner being the grape variety. Now most commonly probably seen in Switzerland, then followed by a little bit in Germany and also Alsace. Now in Australia, the Brown brothers tried to do it in the 70s. When I say they tried to do it, they played with it, they toyed with the idea and trialled it, but nothing came to fruition. So in Alsace, it's usually planted on the flatter, more fertile soils. However, since 2006, they were allowed to plant it in one particular Grand Cru. The name escapes me. We're out of Burgundy, so we are a little bit out of my depth, but more about the wine. So Sylvaner, someone once taught me that it's very similar to Pinot Blanc, but with a bit more body, and I really quite like that analogy. Now Pinot Blanc, can most commonly be sort of seen as an offshoot of Chardonnay, but it makes sense when you do look at a Sylvaner. Usually has a little bit more body, a little bit more flesh, a little higher acid. On the nose there is this lovely sort of boiled sort of cough lolly, lemon or apple, and it's got this lovely sort of tension, but it's almost sort of round in nature, and almost gives particularly with a few years on it, maybe a point of sort of richness. Still incredibly fresh, and if you look at the colour, it's still very bright, but it does have that slight sort of how do I describe it? I mean, let me just have a little. Cough lolly, cough drop lolly, not necessarily like a detailed pith or citrus that you may see in like a Chablis or something of the like, or maybe even a Pinot Blanc. It really is a little bit more rounded and a little bit more hard and ceramic if you'd wanted to go down that sort of path. It is beautiful. It's got some lovely florals, not overly complex, but very pleasing. You can see why it was on the more fertile, flatter sites of Alsace, because they'll be able to make a very pleasant and drinkable wine with nice high acidity, but not that much detail. A grape variety that shows detail you really do want on the better sites, because it's going to translate that sort of special, unique character of that place. On the palate, it really is a cross between Riesling and Pinot Blanc. This actually does have some lovely sort of phenolic structure, nice sort of minerality, probably more sort of phenolic structure and acid, but that would be coming from the older vines. So older vines usually lower yielding, more concentrated, and sort of translates to a more structured wine. Very much in this case. The thing that I love about this is that it is does have a sort of a soft, plush nature, but holds everything in line. It's not as severe as a Riesling, not as skeletal as a Riesling, a little bit more flesh, and really is a great wine to drink. Just because something is planted on sort of, it's like Gamay. Let's look at Gamay and Alsace and Burgundy. They're some of the best drinking wines, and I would put this in the same sort of category. They are in lesser sites, but it's a delicious drink. It doesn't demand as much attention as, say, the Riesling, and it's certainly not as in your face as a Muscat or a Gewürztraminer or anything of the like. Truly, I'll drink this today. With a bit of roast chook, or a very sort of meaty white flesh fish. Yeah, it's beautiful. But truly, and it's great value. I look stumped because I am. We're outside of Burgundy. We're having a lesser grape variety from Alsace, and it's utterly delicious. So, cheers and all the best.